Welcome all to today's session. Today we will be doing the topic simple interest. Simple interest is also a very important topic in the aptitude. Problems on this simple interest will be asked in all the government exams. And this is also a very simple topic and very important topic. So let us begin with this topic. So we'll see some brief introduction regarding this topic. So what is simple interest? We all know that. That is interest given on the principal. Okay, principal is the amount what we give to the bank or bank gives us. Okay, and interest is given on this principal. In simple interest, interest is given only on the principal amount. Okay, we know that there are two types of interest, isn't it? That is simple interest and compound interest. Okay, so simple interest means what? It is just simply on only the principal amount. But what do you mean by compound interest? It is the interest on the principal amount plus interest on the interest. Okay, interest on the interest. So it goes on increasing every year. Okay, but simple interest is not like that. It is only the interest incurred or calculated only on the principal amount. Okay, so what is the important terms in the simple interest? The principal amount. Okay, and then the rate of interest means for how much percent the interest is calculated. Okay, the rate of interest, that is R. Okay, and time, that is for how time the interest is calculated, for how much time the principal is kept in the bank or a loan is taken from the bank. Okay, the time period. Okay, so therefore how to calculate simple interest? Simple interest is given by principal into time into rate of interest divided by 100. This is the formula we have been studying from our childhood, isn't it? From our school days we have been studying this formula, isn't it? That is simple interest. How to calculate? It is calculated as principal into time into rate of interest divided by 100. This will give us how much interest is given on a particular principal. But in today's session, I will not follow this formula. Okay, because we will see some other method how to solve the problems. Okay, so what method I will use? That is simple interest. I will calculate it in terms of percentage. Okay, simple interest I will calculate in terms of percentage. So simple interest in terms of percent is given by rate percent into time. Okay, this is the thing which I will be using to solve all the problems. Okay, and this is very important. This method we have been learning from our school days, isn't it? But let us learn something different, some different concept, some different approach how to solve problems. Okay, so this is the new or the advanced method of solving the problems. Okay, so how to solve this, how to solve problems using this using this concept. Okay, so before going to that, let me understand how this formula or how this concept is derived. Okay. Now, if I take a loan from the bank, okay, if I take loan from a bank at 8% simple interest for 3 years, for time 3 years, okay. So what will happen? First year I will have to give 8% interest on the loan what I have taken. Then second year also I have to give 8%, isn't it? And third year also I have to give 8%, isn't it? So this means that, this shows that simple interest is always fixed. Simple interest is always fixed. It will not vary. Okay. So first year I have to give 8%, second year 8% and third year 8%, isn't it? That means for every 3 years, okay, 8% is fixed. So for 3 years, how much I am giving? 8%. So how many times it is? 3 times, isn't it? Time is 3 years. So 8% into 3 is how much? 28 3s are 24%, isn't it? So totally I am giving 24% interest for the bank for 3 years, isn't it? So 24% is nothing but simple interest in terms of percentage. Okay, simple interest in terms of percentage. So in that way we got this. So how we did that? 8% is nothing but the rate percent, isn't it? Into, for how many years we are giving it? For 3 years. So R percent into T is nothing but SI percent, which is nothing but 24%. Okay. So in this way we got this formula, and using this same concept we will solve all the problems. So one more last thing what we need to know is, what is amount? Amount is the principal plus simple interest. Okay, principal plus simple interest is nothing but amount. So at the end of, now if I am keeping some amount, some principal amount fixed in the bank for 3 years. Okay, so for 3 years if I am keeping some amount fixed, so they are giving me some percent of interest for that, isn't it? So whatever at the end of 3 years, what I'll get? Will I get only what the principal amount what I have kept? No, I will get interest also on that, isn't it? So the last amount what we take, it is the principal amount plus the simple interest. Okay, so amount is nothing but the principal plus simple interest. So this much we need to know before starting the problems. Okay, and this is the concept I will be using to solve all the problems, and how this method will be easier than this we will see. Okay, so let us begin with the first problem. What will be the simple interest for a sum of rupees 8,000 invested at 4% per annum rate of interest for 5 years? Okay. So when we are doing with the usual method, that is simple interest is equal to PTR upon 100, isn't it? So what we do there? We use this formula, we substitute the values. So we'll see both the methods. This is the basic method and the shortcut method. Okay, both the methods we'll see only for this problem. Okay. So what will be the simple interest? They are asking us what will be the simple interest for a sum. Sum means what? This is principal. For a sum of rupees 8,000. So this is principal at 4%. So this is rate of interest, and for 5 years. So this is time. So principal is 8,000 into simple time is 5 years into rate of interest is 4. divided by 100. Okay, so 0 0 cancels here. So it is 8 5s are 40, 40 into 4, 4 4s are 16, 100, and this 1 0. Okay, so this is 1600 is the simple interest. Okay, so this, since the numbers were very easy, we could easily substitute in this formula and we could easily find out. But if the numbers are difficult or if something else is asked, okay, then this, using this formula would be very complicated. Okay, so how to reduce that complication and how with this short trick we can solve all the problems, let us see. So I have told you that I will always calculate simple interest in terms of percentage. So simple interest in terms of percentage is given by rate of interest into time. Okay, so rate of interest is how much? It is 4% and time is 5. So 5 4s are 20%. So at the end of 5 years, how much interest is paid? It is 20%. So always let me assume principal to be 100%. This I will use in all the problems. Okay, let principal be 100%. Okay, now we know that 8,000 is the principal, means if 100% is 8,000, isn't it? If 100% is 8,000, then 20% is how much? Okay, so this divided by this, 20 by 100 into 8,000. So 0 0 0 0 cancels, 2 8s are 16 and 00. So 1600 is the simple interest. Okay, so 20% is nothing but the interest in terms of percentage, isn't it? And 1600 is the interest in terms of rupees. So 20% interest is nothing but 1600 rupees. Okay, so this method you might be feeling difficult for this first problem, but this method will solve complicated, it will solve very complicated problems also easily. So how is that? We'll see in our upcoming problems. Okay, so let us go to the next problem. The simple interest on a certain sum at 7% rate of interest per annum for 10 years is 2,800. So find the sum, they are saying. So they are saying the simple interest on a certain sum. Okay, we don't know the sum. P is unknown. On a certain sum, P is not known. Okay, then at 7% rate of interest. So this is R for 10 years. So this is time is rupees 2,800. So this is simple interest. So what is, find the sum, they are saying. Sum is nothing but principal. So what is principal is asked. Okay, so now SI I know in terms of rupees it is 2,800. So SI in terms of percentage it is how much, will calculate. So SI in terms of percentage we know it is R percent into T. R is how much? 7% into time is 10 years. So it is 70%. So for 10 years 70% is the interest on that principal. Okay, so 70% is in terms of percentage and 2,800 is in terms of money. So therefore, so if 70% is 2,800, then I have told you all, we will always assume principal as 100%. Okay, so if 70% is 2,800, then 100% is how much? Okay, so therefore principal is 100 divided by 70 into 2,800. Okay, so 0 0 cancels, 7 1s are, 7 4s are and 0. So 40 into 100 is 4,000. So principal is 4,000 rupees. Okay, this is the sum or principal. Okay, so easily we could solve, isn't it? Let me see again how it becomes easier to solve. difficult problems, how this method is easier, we'll see. Okay, so going to the next problem. A sum amounts to rupees 5200. Okay, there is a sum, it will amount, means after all the interest and all, it will amounts to, so this is the amount, it amounts to 5200 in 6 years, this is time, at 5% rate of interest, this is rate, per annum. So find the sum. Okay, again they are asking what is principal. Okay, now we know that amount is equal to principal plus simple interest, isn't it? Now first we will find out simple interest in terms of percentage. So simple interest in terms of percentage is what? R percent into T. So R is 5% into T is 6 years. So 6 5s are 30%. Okay, now we know that simple interest is 30%, and we know that simple interest is 30% we got here. Okay, in terms of percentage, and we always know that principal is 100%, isn't it? So therefore amount is what? Principal plus SI means 100% plus 30%. So therefore amount is what? It is 130%. But amount we know in terms of rupees also, it is 5200, isn't it? So if 130%, I can directly equate it to 5200, isn't it? 130% is 5200, then 100%, we know principal is always 100%, isn't it? So principal, that is 100%, is how much? Okay, so principal is equal to 100 divided by 130 into 5200. Okay, so 0 0 cancels, 13 ones are, 13 fours are, and 0. So 100 into 40 is 4000. So principal is 4000 rupees. Okay, so simple it was, isn't it? So if we know this concept, we can solve any problem. Okay, so let us see the next one. The rate of interest for the first 2 years is 3% per annum. Okay, for first 2 years it is 3% per annum. For next 3 years is 8%, and for the period beyond 5 years, okay, beyond 5 years it is 10%. So if a man gets rupees 1520 as simple interest, okay, he is getting simple interest as 1520 rupees for 6 years, then how much money did he invest? So how much money did he invest means what? This is principal, how much he invested, or sum. Okay, so now for first year, okay, for first 2 years, for how much he is invest, for 3% he is investing, isn't it? So for first 2 years, SI percent is how much? R percent into time, isn't it? R is 3% into time is 2 years, which is equal to 6%. Okay, SI for first 2 years it is 6%. Then for next 3 years, for next 3 years means for how much it is? SI percent is rate, it is 8% into 3. So it is 8 3s are 24%. So for next 3 years it is 24%. Now, and for the period beyond 5 years it is 10%. So now 2 years and 3 years is already 5 years is gone. So for how much a man gets a simple interest? For 6 years, means for 6 years he is investing. So already 5 years is gone. So how much year is remaining? Only 1 year is remaining now, isn't it? From 6 years, 1 year is remaining, isn't it? 5 years is gone here. So for remaining, or for the 6th year, okay, for 6th year, SI percent is how much? We know it is for 6th year it is 10%, because after 5 years it is 10%. So 10% for how many years? For 1 year, isn't it? Because 1 year is remaining. From 6 years, 5 years is gone here. So 1 year is remaining. So for time 1 year. So it is 10 into 1, 10%. So totally, therefore, total SI percent, okay, total SI percent is how much? It is for 6 years. SI percent for 6 years is how much? Totally it is 6 plus 24, 30 plus 10 is 40%. Means for total 6 years, he is getting 40% interest. And in money, we know it is 1520. SI in rupees. Okay, in rupees it is how much? 1520. And in percentage wise, it is 40%. Therefore, I can say if 40% is 1520, then we know principal is how much? Always 100%. So therefore 100% is how much? So this divided by this, therefore P is 100 divided by 40 into 1520. Okay, so 0 0 cancels, 4 1s are 4, 3s are 12 and 3 will remain, 8s are, so 38. So 38 into 100 is 3800. So principal amount was how much? 3800. Isn't it? Wasn't it very simple? Isn't it? So let us go for the next problem. The simple interest on certain sum of money is 1/9 of the principal. We don't know how certain sum means we don't know the principal. It is 1/9 of the principal, means simple interest whatever he is getting, no, it is 1/9 of the principal, and the number of years is equal to the rate of interest. Okay, time is equal to rate, they are saying time is equal to rate. Find the rate of interest. So therefore rate of interest is how much? Now we always assume that principal is 100%, isn't it? Then SI is what? Interest, how much he is getting? 1/9 of principal amount, they are saying, isn't it? 1/9 of principal amount. So we know principal is 100%. So 1/9 of 100% he is getting as simple interest. So simple interest is how much? 100 by 9%. Okay, simple interest he is getting 100 by 9%. So let this be equation 1. Now SI percent we always find out, isn't it? SI in terms of percentage. SI in terms of percentages, we know it is R percent into time. But they are saying time is equal to R. So we can take that R percent is into R, because time is equal to R, they are saying, isn't it? So R percent into R is what? R square percentage, isn't it? So let this be equation number 2. Now SI in percentage it is 100% by 9, and SI is also R square percent. So I can directly equating equation 1 and 2. So what I get? It is R square percent is equal to 100 divided by 9%, isn't it? So what will remain? 1% and 1% will cancel. So what will remain? R is equal to R square is equal to 100 by 9, isn't it? So therefore R is equal to square root of 100 by 9. So it is 10 by 3. So 10 by 3 is nothing but R is equal to 3.33%, or 10 by 3 can also be written as 3.1/3%. So rate of interest we got it as 3.1/3%. See here it was 1%, here R square means 2 percentages, isn't it? So this 1% will cancel with 1 and 1% will remain. So R square 1% will remain. So R is nothing but square root, R square is 100 by 9. So R is square root of 100 by 9, which is 10 by 3. So 10 by 3 can either be written as 3.33% or 3.1/3%. Okay. So this is R. So next problem. A sum of money doubles itself in 10 years at simple interest. So what is the rate of interest? Okay, they are saying a sum of money, that is principal, doubles itself. It is getting doubled in 10 years at simple interest. So what is the rate of interest? So R is equal to how much they are asking. We always assume that, okay, we know that P is always 100%, isn't it? So 100%, it is becoming double. So double means when it becomes double, it is nothing but it is amount, isn't it? So amount, it is becoming 200%, isn't it? So means 100% is becoming 200, means what? 100 into 2 in how many years? In 10 years it is becoming double, isn't it? So therefore SI is how much? SI is 100%, because extra 100% we are getting here, isn't it? 100% was our principal. When it got doubled, it became 200%, means the extra 100%, whatever is there. So extra 100% is there, that is nothing but our simple interest in terms of percentage. Okay, simple interest in terms of percentage. So we know that simple interest in terms of percentage is nothing but R% into time. So simple interest in terms of percentage, we got it as 100%. So 100% is equal to R% into time. We know it is 10 years. For 10 years interest is 100%, isn't it? So therefore R% is equal to 100% divided by 10. So 0 cancels, which is equal to 10%. So rate of interest, we got it as 10%. Okay. See, so simply we solved the problem. So next problem. In what time does a sum of money become 4 times at the simple interest being 5% per annum? Okay, they are saying in what time. So time is asked. In what time the simple sum of money, okay, the sum of money becomes 4 times, okay, 4 times at the simple interest. They are saying 4 times, okay, it should become 4p. Now we always know that principal is 100% and it has to become what? 4 times, means amount will be 400%, isn't it? Means extra is how much? Extra is how much here? Extra is 300%, because 100% was principal, but we are getting 400% when it becomes 4 times. We are getting 400%. So extra is how much? 300%. So this extra 300% is nothing but SI in terms of percentage, isn't it? So we know that SI in terms of percentage is equal to R% into T. So SI in terms of percentage, we got it as 300%, isn't it? Which is equal to R, means it is 5% into time, we don't know. We have to find out. So therefore 300% divided by 5% is equal to T. So percent cancels. 5 ones are 5, 60s are. Therefore time we got it as 60 years. Okay, so for 60 years the principal will become 4 times. Principal will become 4 times. Okay, so T is equal to 60 years. Next problem. A sum of money doubles itself. Okay, a sum of money, that is some principal, will double itself in 7 years. So in how many years will it become 4-fold? Means 4-fold means 4 times. Fold means nothing but times. Okay, 4-fold means 4 times. So a sum of money So P is becoming 2 times, okay, 2P in how many years? 7 years. So if it has to become 4 times 4P, so how many years is required? Okay. Now we always know principal is 100%. So it has to become, it is becoming double, isn't it? It is becoming double. So 100 into 2 is 200%. In how many years? In 7 years, isn't it? So extra is how much? If 100% was our principal, we are getting 200%, isn't it? Because it is becoming double. So extra is how much? Extra is 100%, isn't it? So this extra 100% in how many years we are getting? In 7 years, isn't it? So this 100% is nothing but simple interest. Extra is always interest what we are getting, isn't it? Extra what amount whatever we get, it is always interest. Extra amount or extra money is always what? It is interest what we are getting. Extra amount is always interest. Okay, so extra is 100%. So that 100% is nothing but SI in terms of percentage. So SI in terms of percentage is equal to R% into T. We know this. So SI in terms of percentage, how much we are getting? 100%. And R% is how much? We don't know R%. Into time is 7 years. So therefore R% is equal to 100 divided by 7%. Okay, this is for 1 year. Okay, R is equal to 100 by 7% for 1 year, isn't it? Now they are asking us principal will become 4-fold in how many years? So principal is 100%, we know. It has to become 4-fold means it has to be multiplied 4 times, isn't it? So it will become 400%. So this 400% is nothing but the final amount. Okay. So extra is how much? If 100% was principal, extra is 300%. So this 300% we require. Okay. In how many years they are saying? So this 300% we are getting in how many years? Okay. So this is nothing but our SI percent, isn't it? So we know that SI percent is R% into T. So SI in terms of percentage is 300%. R% we got here. For 1 year it is 100%. 100 by 7 into time we don't know. That only we have to find out. So 0, 0, 0, 0 cancels. So 7 goes this side. Therefore time percentage also cancels. Okay. So time is equal to 7 into 3, 21 years. So SI, so time is how much? 21 years. So therefore the principal amount will become 4 times in 21 years. Okay. So this is the answer. So next one. A sum was invested at simple interest at a rate of interest for 2 years. At a certain rate. Okay, at a certain rate of interest for 2 years. We don't know how much it is. And we don't know the sum also. Had it been put 3% higher rate, if it was 3% higher rate, it would have fetched 300 rupees more. So whatever rate was given, no, about if 3% more than that if it was given, then we would have got 300 rupees more. So what is the sum? So find the sum they are saying. So principal is how much? Now if we had invested for 3% higher rate, they are saying, okay, 3% higher rate, okay, for how many years? It should be invested for 2 years. Okay, 3% higher rate than before. Okay, whatever was before means if it was X percent, so if it was invested for x plus 3%, x% plus 3% more, if it was invested, okay, for 2 years, okay, then what would happen? We would get 300 rupees more we would get, isn't it? So that means that if for 2 years we are investing, so for first year 3% more and for second year 3% more, means totally how much? 6% more for we should have invested. 6% more for 2 years we should have invested to get 300 rupees more, isn't it? If 6% more for 2 years was invested, then how much we would get? 300 rupees more we would get for 2 years. Okay, 300 rupees more for 2 years was obtained, isn't it? So we can say that 6% is nothing but 300 rupees, because in percentage wise 6% more we should have invested. Then more, how much we are getting? 300 rupees more than usually we would get. So this 6% is nothing but 300 rupees. So if 6% is 300 rupees, we know that principal is always 100%. So 100% is how much? Okay. So 100 divided by 6 into 300. So it is 6 1s are 6 5s are 30 and 0. So 50 into 100 is 5,000. So principal was how much? 5,000 rupees. Okay, this was principal. Okay, hope you have understood. See here, 3% higher rate than before. So whatever was before, let us not know that. If we had invested 3% higher for 2 years, means 3% for first year and 3% more for second year. Okay, that means totally 6% for both 2 years we are investing for 6% more. Okay, more than whatever was before. So 6% more for 2 years if it was invested, how much more we would get? 300 rupees more. So 6% more in terms of percentage and 300 rupees more in terms of money. So 6% we can directly equate it to 300. So if 6% is 300, we know that principal is always 100%. So 100% is how much? So if we solve this, we get 5,000 rupees. So principal is 5,000 rupees. So next one. A person lent a certain sum of money at 4% rate of simple interest, and in 8 years the interest amounted to rupees 340 less than the sum lent. Okay, 340 less than the sum lent. So what is the sum? So principal is how much? So we always know that principal is 100%, isn't it? Now SI percent, we know it is R percent into time. So R percent, R is how much? 4% into time is how much? 8. So SI is 8 4s are 32%. So for 8 years, how much interest we are getting? 32%. So let this be equation 1. Now it is said that a person lent a certain sum of money at 4% interest, and in 8 years the interest amounted to rupees 340 less than the sum lent, isn't it? Means it is 340 less than the principal. So whatever interest we are getting, so the simple interest whatever we are getting, it is 340 less than how much? Less than principal. So principal minus 340 whatever it's there, no, that much interest we are getting, it is said. So we know that principal is always 100%. So SI is equal to 100% minus 340, isn't it? So let this be equation 2. So SI in percentage we know it is 32% and SI we know it is 100% minus 340. Therefore equating equation 1 and 2. So I can say that 32% is equal to 100% minus 340. So 32 I'll take this side and 340 this side. So 340 is equal to 100% minus 32%. So 100 minus 32 is how much? 340 is equal to 68%. So I got that 68% is 340 rupees. But we ask sum. Sum is what? Always principal is what? 100% we know. Principal is always 100%. We know that. Now if 68% is equal to 340 rupees, then 100% is how much? Okay. So 100 divided by 68 into 340. So it is 68 1za, you can say 1za, and 68 5za. Okay. So 5 into 100 is 500. So principal amount was 500 rupees. Okay. Principal amount was 500 rupees. Hope you have understood this.